Hey guys, Sam here. So today I'm going to talk about what judges look for when you're showing. So with chickens, there's not really showmanship like when you walk around a ring with a goat. And also with livestock, you're looking at the judge and the judge wants you to be kind of participating with them. With chickens, you put them in their cage and hope for the best. So I'm going to teach you guys kind of like what the American Bantam standards are for Silkies and what a general Silkie should look like. So I have my little model here. I'm going to show you guys a couple of birds. Sorry, pups. So most of my really good birds right now are actually molting. So I'm going to show you kind of a couple of different birds that have things that I look for. I've been doing this now for 13 years and I still don't have one bird that is absolutely everything. A lot of people don't. It doesn't really matter how long you do this for. Everyone is continuously striving for bigger and better and getting that perfection. So if you want to come closer. So she stands without being kind of nervous. If you notice that her head and her butt floof are pretty level with each other. And then her feet are directly in the center when she stands. And that's her natural body type when she stands, which is actually perfect, what you want. So we call that the triangle. So the top of the triangle and then it goes down. So the judges, when they're looking at a bird in their cage, this is going to be the first thing that they look at before they even take them out or touch them or anything. So they want that bird to hold herself. She's like, why are you doing this to me? They want that bird to hold themselves. Let's see if she stands normal. No, she's going to walk. They want them to hold themselves pretty much like that. Stand up straight, puff out their chest. And obviously she's not the fluffiest bird of them all, but they want them to have a really, really big head fluff and a really, really big rounded out tail. And then she also has another thing that they look for just when looking at them without even taking them out of the cage. They want their wings to be really nice and tight up. They want their secondary feathers to be covering most of the primaries, so you only see the tip ends of the primaries. If she didn't just drink, you'd see that she has a really nice fluffy beard, if it was, not wet. So those are the most things that they look for without even touching the bird and taking them out. So now I'm going to swap birds. I'm going to put her down with her friends. Just keep going. Just follow me. And I'm going to pick up my main girl. So she also has the body type, but she's just a little bit more, I'm going to say squirrely. She kind of holds herself in a weird position when she doesn't feel like doing anything. But so when the judge picks up a bird, they're going to hold them like this, fingers in between their feet. And of course, they're going to look at their head poof, their crest. They're going to look at their feathers. They're going to actually look at the undercolor of each bird. Blacks, their undercolor should be black. Blue, their undercolor should be a little bit lighter. Splashes, their undercolor can actually be white, or it could be almost like a lighter gray color than this is. So obviously she's got a beautiful, nice tail. And then they're going to look at their wings. So I'm going to switch hands to show you what their wings should look like. So that is a perfect wing. Exactly what wings should look like. They're going to have this little, we call them shredded wings on the bottom. They're going to have a little bit of that because no wings are going to be perfect. But you want their wings to be full, no feathers missing. You want them to be tight going all the way up here, so no shredded all the way up. And you want the secondary feathers to glide right on top of them like that. Really nice. And when she holds it, you want them to hold it about here. So real tight, tucked in, and good. So each judge is gonna take the feathers out, look at them, switch, spread out feathers, look at them, and each wing on each side should be exactly the same. They want it to be symmetrical. Your bird should always be symmetrical. So she's very pretty. Another thing judges actually do look for is the disposition of the bird. If you have a crazy bird and you take it out and the bird's going nuts, that judge is probably not going to give you the best points. So another thing they're going to look for, she has dirty feet. I don't know why, I just cleaned their cages. But we're actually going to look at their feet. And for Silkies, you want them to have 5 toes, always. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And actually, if they have 5 toes, but not 5 fingernails, that is actually points off. So you always want them to have 5 toes and 5 fingernails. So this one has a little nail, but it still counts as a nail. And then they're also going to look at the coloration of their feet and of their face. So they're going to look at the coloration. Obviously, for Silkies, you want that nice black coloration. And on the beaks, they wanted them to be black as well. Some Silkies, there's a pigment mutation that they get where their skin is actually like a green color. That is a disq automatically, which means disqualification automatically. And on their faces, they're also going to be looking for wrinkles, any discoloration of the eyes, their little blue on their ears, they're going to look for that. All these things are going to be things that judges look for. So obviously I showed you 2 hens. So that's what hens look like. You want them to be very puffy. Obviously their back ends, the fluffier they are, the better they're going to do in the show. But of course they really look for the body type. And that's really what I breed for. I try really hard to breed for wings and body type because those are going to be your 2 biggest things that judges look for besides overall fluffiness. Yeah. So I'm actually going to get a rooster for you guys to show you kind of what a rooster should look like. It's going to be the same principle with, I don't want her to jump off. It's going to be the same principle as being, you know, fluffy, overall really good body type, wings, feet, number of toes, you know, all that. But obviously a rooster is going to look a little different. So I'm going to show you what he'll look like. I will be right back. So I grabbed my black boy. His name is Spartan. Hi, Spartan. So I specifically chose those 3 birds because I wanted to show you the 3 colors that I have. So I have blacks, splashes, and blues. The first girl, don't jump off, was a splash. The second girl was a blue, and he is obviously black. So he is a beautiful, beautiful rooster. Sorry, I just poked him in the comb. He has that gorgeous body type. If you look at him from the side, the way he holds himself, Spartan, cooperate. He holds himself perfectly level, and his feet are right in the middle, aligned with his wings. He also has great wings, but I'm not going to show you that. I'm going to focus more on his face. So I'm going to pick him up so he's not moving around for you. So, his face. So with him, I'm going to point out exactly right now what you don't want. So these little nodules up here, there's absolutely nothing wrong with them for his health, but judges are going to take off points on that. They call them comb nodules. A lot of people also call them crown points, either one. I like to call them comb nodules. But these kind of like pointage spots, you don't necessarily want that for a show. He does great in shows, but it is, other than that, he's pretty perfect. He's got a nice black comb. He has the perfect color. You want this kind of like, I don't really know what to call this color, kind of like maroony, dark purple. But you want this color for their comb and for their little wattles. See these little wattles down here? You want these wattles to be pretty small and tight against their face. You don't want them to be big and huge. You want this really, really nice, pretty blue or like light blue coloration. And obviously, he's not the puffiest. You can see all his pin feathers. That just means new feathers are coming in. So he's not the fluffiest right now, but for a rooster, he's pretty dang nice. Spartan. For ideal, what judges are gonna look for with a rooster, we say that we want the roosters to be girlish. We want them to look like girls and kind of have that girly figure, so to speak. He's not happy with me today. Okay. So he could be fluffier here. So this puff could also be a lot bigger. Sometimes they want it to cover about half of the comb. and he has a really nice beard, but yet it could be fluffier. But it's nice that you can't really see his eyes. Surprisingly, they could see super well. But that's kind of what a judge wants in a rooster. They want them to be girlish. They want them to be really puffy. And a lot of people say, if you can't tell a rooster and a hen apart, you're golden. That's exactly what you want. So he's a really handsome boy. I love him a lot. He does really well in the shows for me. But just nitpicking, you know, I wouldn't necessarily breed him for show purposes with these. But again, for blacks, just based off of color, this real nice sheen, this is actually genetic. So if you breed two birds that have really nice sheen together, you're typically going to get birds that have nice sheen. So you want this like kind of shiny green tint to all your blacks. Also with roosters, you want the longer feathers going all the way down, real puffy butt, obviously, and just want them overall to be shiny, good health. The judges are going to kind of go like this, touch all their feathers, make sure, you know, the bird's healthy. They also go off of weight. I'm actually not necessarily sure what the ideal weight for a Silkie is. I think it's around 2 pounds for a hen, and I think 3 to 4 pounds for a rooster. He's about 3.5. He's pretty hefty. That's not your major points. I think weight is about 1 to 3 points in like your score book. So when judges score, they actually have a sheet, and it goes for Silkies. I know it's overall type, which is body type, plumage with his feathers, toes, feet, pigmentation, which is skin color, overall health, weight, comb. I think that's pretty much it. Wings, yes. And each one of those has points. So if you guys want a video on that, let me know. I can look it up in my American Standard book and let you know specifically, you know, what they're gonna score for and what the points are for those. But he is a pretty good rooster for me. He gets usually first or second place in every show we go to. The two hens that I showed you before, actually, it's gonna be their first shows this spring, so I'm kind of excited to see how they do. But yeah, that's overall, you know, what judges look for show Silkies. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. See you later. Bye.